welcome back to the homestead. In a previous video, we took you on a little trip around our community to pick up some farm-raised Florida fresh tomatoes and sweet corn. One of the things that we love to say and we love to encourage is that if you cannot grow it yourself, then you go find a farmer or a farmer's market, support somebody who can grow it. You bring it back and you can it up. And that's what we are going to do today. So actually two different things that we're doing. The first is I'm going to make some salsa. That is absolutely one of Billy's favorites. And so we're going to put that together. And then the rest of these canning tomatoes that I have, we are going to take them and make some sauce. Now, the sauce that I usually make up, I use it for everything. I will use it for pizza dough. I will use it for spaghetti sauce. It's just kind of like a base sauce that I do. And I will put these recipes over on our blog and then link that so you can go over there and you can get those down. And then we can it up and we keep it and we'll eat off of that for over a year. Well, about a year. I'm just about out, and I did this in May of last year, and here it is May again. I'm hoping I have enough tomatoes here. If not, I will be making another trip back to my friends to get some more tomatoes. But we're going to get these things cut up today. We're going to get them canned, and excited to take you along on the journey while we do this.
I guess I'll go wash the bugs off in front of my truck.
Okay, mountain man.
Yes, I can't get you to do it for me.
Well, I do it, but you're going to have to be in. Well, your job is to take care of the vehicles. My job is to appreciate your work. Well, as it turned out, my battery died. So while my battery was recharging, I went ahead and cut up my tomatoes, my onions, and I've got pretty much everything ready to go that I'm going to put into my pot. So for this salsa recipe, it calls for 7 cups of chopped tomatoes. It calls for, how many cups did I do? I think there was like 4. It calls for 2 cups. So I literally doubled everything. So I've got 14 for, and here I've had some cilantro that I dehydrated the other day, as well as some jalapeno peppers, and I kept the seeds. So the recipe calls for 8 jalapenos de-seeded. I don't know how many I actually have that were dehydrated. I know it was more than 8, but I did maybe a quarter of a cup of dehydrated jalapeno peppers with the seeds. And then there is 1 teaspoon of cumin in here. Now, I have to add a few more things, but I'm going to go ahead and get it going into my stock pot, and we're going to bring it to a boil. And then once it starts boiling, then we will let it simmer for about 30 minutes, and it will be ready to go into our prepared warm jars, and then we will put it in our water bath canner. Our 14 cups of tomatoes chopped up, diced, cut, whatever you want to call it. And then This is a cup and a half of white vinegar. And then this is the cilantro, garlic, and jalapenos and cumin. Now, my recipe that I wrote on when I did this last year, Billy said it needed more garlic and it needed salt. So I went ahead and added a little bit more garlic to this recipe. It's easier if I turn it this way. And I'm going to go ahead, what I wrote was add 1 tablespoon of salt, but since I'm doubling it, I think I'm only going to add 1 tablespoon, because my experience is that if you do too much, then you go, ah, salty. Okay, and then let it come to a boil. See those jalapenos in there? If I can get one on my spatula here. Look at that. That's gonna be some goodness right there. That's gonna give it its kick. Oh my gosh, I just realized I forgot the onions. I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm like, wait a minute, something's missing. Yeah, the onions. I actually had some red onion left over. It was just like a half of one. So I went ahead and added that into this mix as well. Now it looks better. It's not just tomatoes and jalapenos. All right. Like Billy always says, now we're cooking with Crisco. Okay. Got it all mixed in here pretty good. I'm gonna put the lid on it, let it come to a boil, and then we'll reduce it down for 30 minutes, let it simmer, and put it in our jars and put it in our water bath canner. I need one more onion. I don't have any more onions. Great. All right, so for this tomato sauce, it calls for 10 pounds, but when I usually cook this up, in the past, I have measured it out and it said I wrote down my notes that if I want to do 7 quarts, which is what my pressure canner will hold, then I need to do 20 pounds. So I'm going to measure these out, or weigh them out, and see. Yeah, see, some of these are already, so we got to get these done. I am going to have to go back and get more tomatoes. I can tell you this right now. Because that's only, yeah, that's cuckoo. That's only 9 pounds, y'all. Glad I'm doing these today. See, I feel like I'm playing Jenga. What is that? Overload? I've never seen, you know what? Hold that thought. Tried and true. I don't need this. Okay. 20 pounds. It's a plastic bowl, it doesn't weigh that much. See, that's about 12 and a half there. I got a feeling. I wonder, maybe. I mean, I did do up 14 cups of chopped tomatoes. Oh wait, no, I need this box. I did that. Why don't I just get another bowl like this? So, anyways, I did up 14 cups of salsa. So that did take away some tomatoes. I'm gonna cheat. Off. I lost my train of thought. I'm cheating. Yeah, I think that's where I left off at. And how I'm doing this is I'm going to core them, and I'm going to cut them into quarters. I'm going to put them in my food processor, and then I'm going to put them in a stock pot. And I'm going to add my ingredients, and I'm going to let it simmer. Now this is going to have to simmer for a few hours, and getting to the point that it's kind of getting on into the afternoon. What I might do is let them simmer and then come back tomorrow after church and go ahead and can them up. I still have to can that up today, so that's just a lot. And I got to get supper going here shortly. But anyways, back in the day, we would blanch them, put them in an ice bath, take the skins off, and then kind of quarter them if you needed to. They're pretty soft, but quarter them if you need to. And then stick them in a pot and let them simmer down. Even at that step, I would cheat after I blanched them and I took the skins off. I would quarter them and stick them in the food processor to chop them down because it cooked down quicker. I don't have enough ice to blanch them today, and they need to get done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quarter them out. I've got some spots on them that we're going to take out. Core them out, excuse me. I'm going to core them, take out the bad spots. I will quarter them, put them in my food processor, skins and all, and I'm going to stick them in my stock pot, and I'm going to let them simmer. And it's going to simmer for a while. And then that way, I've done it like that for a few years now. And it's turned out great for us. I don't have any problems. Now, when I do blanch these and I take the skins off, I will take the skins and I will dehydrate them. And then I crush them again in my food processor. And I have basically, well, it's the starting of tomato paste. And what you can do with those potato. Ha! Y'all, I need sugar or something. I'm getting tired. What you can do with this tomato skins is just add a little bit of water. The dehydrated tomato skins, you can add a little bit of water and it'll make tomato paste. So you don't have to go out and buy some. But that's a trick. So for now, we're going to quarter. We're going to core and then quarter and then chop in my food processor and then stick them in a stock pot. And we're going to let it simmer. Yeah. This is why we buy our tomatoes from a local farmer here in Central Florida, because they grow them like this. We grow them like that. Y'all, it's going to take a lot of those little jokers to equal one of those. They are good though. These are Everglades. Everglades tomatoes. They're popping sweet. They're really good. We got these like all over. If you saw one of our videos, you probably saw our garden. After the freeze, they went nuts. Like they just blew up on us. Anyway, those are the kind of tomatoes that we grow. All right. This salsa is boiling, so I'm going to give it a good stir. That smells good. Turn this down. Get it down to a simmer. And I'm going to start my timer because I will get distracted and forget. I'll let that sit. Now I got to get me another stock pot. This isn't going to be pretty, y'all. Give me a minute. Put that on the back burner. That's better. So I just give it a few little, break them down just enough. I don't want them like saucy, but chopped up enough because I'm getting tired. I'm gonna go ahead and start my back burner. And we're gonna get that started to warm up and finish out these tomatoes. One thing that I wanted to mention real quick is that when you do water bath canning, you want to make sure that you have a tray or something like this that you can put your jars in or set them on, because you do not want, and it's just hanging out on the sides right here for right now until I can lower it down, put my jars in. But you do not want your jars to hit the bottom of this pan. Oh, I got something burning. Cool. Ah, that's awesome. What are we doing? All right, y'all, it is actually the next day. It got kind of late. I got hungry. Billy got hungry. So I stopped recording. I finished up the salsa, and I will put in a little overlap video of that to show you. The salsa came out great. There was actually a little bit left over, and Billy tried some of it. He actually tried a little bit after he ate some cereal for breakfast this morning. I don't recommend Cocoa Pebbles and salsa. He won't recommend Cocoa Pebbles and salsa, but he did it. He said it was great, but he did have some for lunch today. That's just how we are. Anyways, my tomato sauce simmered for hours last night, which is great because I wanted it to do that because I wanted the liquid to really kind of boil out of that. So today I've got my canner warming up. I got my jars ready to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start canning up my tomato sauce. What I am doing with the tomato sauce that I'm putting in here, in addition to that, you need to put in either lemon juice or a food grade citric acid. And you want to do that for preservation purposes. So after you fill your warm jars up with your warm sauce, I'm actually going to do citric acid, and it's 1/4 of a teaspoon. And I get my citric acid from Azure Standard, and I will put my link in the show notes below so y'all can see that. Once you put your sauce in your jar. Oh, that's warm. Going off camera, you want to wipe off your rim because you want to make sure that you have a good seal. And then you put your lids on there and your rings, and you're going to do this the same way that we did with the salsa, which means you are going to do just finger tight. See that? Finger tight. Finger off, finger on. And then stick it into your getting ready to be really warm pressure canner. All right, now here's the deal. You don't have to do a pressure canner with tomato sauce. You can do this in a water bath canner. I just choose to do my sauce in a pressure canner. Tomato sauce is actually one of those that you can do either way. The book that I use, they actually say to do it this way. And you can, let me re-edit that. Clearly doing two things at once is a little difficult for me today. You can do tomato sauce in your pressure canner or your water bath canner, like we did the salsa. It's your choice. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I don't have a pressure canner yet, how am I going to make my own tomato sauce? Get you a big stock pot, like a water bath canner, and you can use that. All right. This little canner that I have here is actually my mom's, but she left it here after we did some green beans, which I have a video for that as well. I absolutely love canning with my mama. That's when you hear all the good juicy stuff. Like when you start hearing this stuff about your family and the history, and she tells stories, and sometimes it's the same stories. I don't mind, because those are sweet little moments that I now get to cherish forever. So we're just going to get all of these going, and we'll check back when we have a full canner. All right, so I got a little distracted because my very handsome son came in and surprised me with his sweet little afternoon visit. But my canner has gotten to 10 pounds of pressure, and I just started my timer. It's actually 35 minutes that this will process for, and then we'll keep going. I am almost done with my tomatoes. I am holding back a few because I had promised Billy I would bake him some bread so he could have himself a Mater sandwich. So I'm holding them back for him, but we are almost done. I think I only have about 4 left in my box, and thankfully I've only had to throw away 3 out of the 4 that I put into that was in this box that the chickens are going to enjoy tremendously. So I have my stock pot is almost full. Now to that I will add chopped up onions. I will add some basil, parsley, salt. Probably should have known my recipe. I'll make sure y'all get the recipe. But that's already starting to simmer. As I've been crushing the tomatoes, I've been had the heat on so it could start. It's smelling like an Italian restaurant in here. It's so good. So good. Well, y'all, the canner is done. This has been simmering, I don't know, for at least an hour now. I'm going to let it keep going. It still has a lot of liquid to it. I want that to cook down. I was going to give you updates on this as it was happening, but we had more visitors today. My mom and dad dropped in, and of course we had to enjoy some watermelon and some visit time with them, which we always cherish and love. Anyways, this canner is done. Let me grab my towel. And the little button in the back is down. Remember I said to make sure you have that down. When I take this lid off, I usually tilt it this way because I want all that steam to go away from me because it is hot. All of the jars look great, no issues. Put that lid down real quick. So I will let this sit in here for a second or for a few minutes. And then I will pull them out and put them on my counter and let them cool off and listen for those pings of those jars and repeat the process with that pot there. It might be tomorrow morning when I do that one. 3 days long of canning. That's okay. That's what we do. All right, y'all. Well, we appreciate you tuning in and watching this episode with us. I am going to ask that if you liked it, please subscribe to this channel. All of the subscribes that we get, it helps us to boost our message and help get out there to inspire and encourage others across the Sunshine State to live like this homesteading life that we absolutely love. So please subscribe us. Click that little bell, and when you do, that just gives you notifications when we have another episode that has come out to share with you, and also share with a friend. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you'd like to see. Tell us if there's something that you want to see Billy doing on the homestead. I'm sure we can sweet talk him into something. He's right over there, so he's listening to me. Anyways, keep growing, keep preserving, and keep that Florida homesteader spirit alive. Y'all come back now.